Hi everyone, my name is Madelyn Bunn, and this is my senior collection. My brand is called NFRM, which is actually uniform without the vowels, and then the collection is government issued, also spelled without the vowels. So just a little bit about me. I am from Fayette, Iowa originally, and I'm a fashion designer with a focus in menswear. This collection is actually gender neutral. Um, but yeah, I just want to experiment with that. And I started in fashion kind of through 4-H, and then I just discovered the ISU program and decided to just go here and try it out. And I really enjoy it. And what I hope to do after college, I actually am going to grad school, hopefully in the fall, and continuing my education. And then hopefully maybe I'll become a professor in my future. So this is my mood board for government issued. It's a fall 2022 line, and my main inspiration is from watching films. I watch a lot of films, and I really enjoy futuristic films and the ones where everyone has a set uniform. The movie Equals is a film that I took a lot of inspiration from. They all wear like white uniforms, as well as the Divergent series. Each faction has like a set uniform aesthetic that they wear. So I kind of was inspired by that. And I want to incorporate a lot of different textures and textiles. And there's kind of two futuristic routes that I figured I could take. One being the very dystopian, like Mad Max, kind of destructive route, or the clean futuristic route. So I kind of went more destructive, but I still have clean lines in my collection. I kind of wanted it to be a mix of both, especially since this is NFRM's like first collection. But in the future, if I expand and make more collections, I would definitely experiment going completely one way or the other. And so my reasoning behind the government issuing uniforms is to get rid of fast fashion. So I wanted to play with the idea there's no more need for fast fashion. Everyone just has a set uniform they have to wear, and trying to save the environment in that sense and like be more sustainable. So that was just kind of my main goal for the collection. So this is my consumer profile. My consumer is definitely a creative professional. They're possibly a student. They like to challenge gender norms, and they really like fashion. They like art, just creative things, music, watching films. And they're definitely an individual, but they're still creative and like kind of outspoken. So I think that their age would be 20 to 30. Again, gender neutral, men or women can wear this line, and they're single, in a relationship, whatever. I think either would be fine, and they probably don't have kids, probably more focused on their career and stuff like that. And they're definitely creative in a creative field, probably a designer of some sort. Yeah, they're just very creative, fashionable, and they're very passionate about the environment and human rights. So this is my interview data. I actually interviewed 6 different people, male and female, and I just asked them a bunch of questions. We had conversation about, having to wear masks, with the government kind of making us do that, even though some people aren't complying, of course, but they obviously were all on board for having to wear masks if it's protecting other people. And then I asked them, what about uniforms? Like, would you accept it? And most of them were pretty against the idea. So, yeah, they thought if there were maybe enough options, maybe. And also the idea stemming from reducing fast fashion, that definitely was a positive for them. So that's one of the ways that they would be on board for it. And then I asked them if this is something that could happen in the future. They thought this was even possible. All of them said no, except for one person. um, and he thought that it could happen in like the very, very far future, especially like I mean, if kids grew up with this, they wouldn't really know the difference. So I think that people would be more accepting in that sense. And another fact that I thought was interesting was that people who wore school uniforms, in elementary or high school, they actually were more on board with it than the others. They thought that, having to just throw on whatever in the morning and you knew it would match was much easier than having to decide what to wear. And they just kind of like that aspect. Um, yeah, so a main reason people were against it is because, it's taking away your freedom of expression and you still need to show individualism. So that was kind of something that I had to keep in the back of my mind when designing it. And another reason they thought it couldn't happen is, the attitudes of Americans just isn't along this route, I guess. So some could see it in, some different societies, but just not in the US. And I had a conversation with one of the people about how fashion is going more virtual. So then I was thinking about, virtual reality. You're in the system, like in the book and film Ready Player One. You have to have something that you wear in real life. So I kind of thought like this could be that. And then, just your fashion is all virtual anyway. So this is my brand board. So NFRM, it's the future of fashion. Their purpose is to create uniform-like clothing for the future. I definitely want it to be simple, but still have like those textiles. And I think my brand is more black and white focused. But again, like I said earlier, I wanted to go more on the destructive route of the future, but I think that the brand encompasses both well. So this is just my trend board. I have textiles on there, some weaving, hand stitching, hand weaving. Yeah, I like the loose fit, kind of cropped look. So that's what I went for most of my designs. And this is just my color board. Again, I went with the browns because of the destructive vibe. I see, it's more nature inspired versus like buildings, very black and white, very structured. So that's why I went with the browns. Okay, and these are my illustrations. So I did the first two looks on the left there, and I'm hoping to complete the rest of them over winter break. And my fabrications, ideally, I would naturally dye these fabrics. However, due to just time, I just decided to buy the brown scheme of fabrics. And all of my fabrics are poly cotton blends or just cotton. And ideally, I would like to use organic fabrics, organic cotton, or, recycled fabrics of some sort to keep with my sustainable view of how the government is reducing fast fashion, and they also need to be sustainable. And so I also have stitching on my design, and I hand crocheted and hand wove parts of my looks. And then I also use the double crochet for my crocheted panels. So this is look number one. I called it the simulation. It actually has 4 pieces that I made. As you can see in the illustration, it has a pair of pants, which I did not end up making, but I think that I will make them when I finish all the other looks. Okay, and this is the actual design. I hand crocheted the top and I hand crocheted the panel on the side shorts. And the top, the undershirt is just a knit, so it's comfy. And this is it with the jacket. So the jacket is extremely heavy, but I really like how it turned out. It's pretty oversized and it has like the stitching detail on the upper one side. It has welt pockets, collar. It has the gathering on the one sleeve with a tie, and then hand weaving on the back of all the fabrics. Okay, this is look number 2. I also made this look. Yeah, it's called Angularity. It has a tech class and illustration. Okay, and then the shoulder strap is crocheted as well as the side pant panel. Um, yeah. Yeah, this is look number 3 called Robo with the tech flats, has a vest. Also I'll incorporate hand crocheting on this as well. This one is called Utter Dystopia. This one is humanoid. And look number 6 is called the pod. Again, I have crocheting and weaving on that too. So this is my packaging. I imagine the government sending, the garments in these reusable bags, and then you could like use the bags for other things as well. And then these are my branding materials, my hang tag. It's actually made of recycled fabric, and then it has a blanket stitch around the outside. So, and then on the hang tag, it says government issued uniforms of the future, reducing waste and saving the planet one idea at a time, and treat with care. All right, thank you. That is my senior line. I just really wanted to think futuristically about it and just simmer with the idea of having to wear a uniform in the future. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I included my email if you have any questions or comments. Yeah, thank you.